let's clear the screen. So I'll use the clear command on git bash. So the screen is clear for the second cycle of work on file A, which Git is keeping track of in working directory. I'll go ahead to create another file in working directory. So I'll use the touch command. I'll name the file b.csv, so it's a comma separated value file. And now we have that file in working directory. Next, I'll run the git status command, and you can see the file there. Git is not keeping track of this file, so it's an untracked file. Okay, I won't add this file to the staging area yet. I'll go ahead to make changes to file A. Okay, so I'll open file A in File Explorer, so it's opened in Notepad. I'll just add some text. Okay, so I've added the text. This is a sample file for demonstration. So I'll save that file and close it. Okay, so that's it. Let's run git status again on git bash. This time we get on branch master changes not staged for commit. So some changes have been made to file a.txt, and observe that the file is now in the modified state. File B is still an untracked file, so we could add either or both of these files to the staging area for the next version of working directory. So what I'll do is I'll stage only file A. So I'll run git add file a.txt and I'll run that. So file A is now staged. If I run git status again, so file A is in the staged status. Okay, so but file B is still untracked. Okay, so let's run the next commit. Okay, so if we run the next commit, only file A will be committed to the database associated with working directory. So I'll run git commit. I'll provide a message. Note that the message should be in double quotes. Okay, so I'll hit enter on the keyboard now, and you can see version 2, some descriptive text have been added, and one file changed, and one insertion. If we run git status again now, you see file A, sorry, is not included because it has been committed, and there is no difference between this the content of file A in working directory and the version of file A in the repository. Before we continue, let's clear the screen one more time. To avoid a long list of untracked files returned when you run the git status command, it is possible to create a .gitignore file where you will list all the files that you want Git to ignore. For example, if I run the git status command now, I'll get information on the status of file b.csv. Let's say I have multiple items listed here. If I want Git to ignore those files, all I have to do is create a .gitignore file in working directory. I'll use the touch command .gitignore. Okay, so this will create the .gitignore file in working directory. So I'll list the files that I want Git to ignore in the .gitignore file. So I'll list file b.csv, save the file and close it. If I run git status this time, no information will be provided on the status of file B. One thing you may want to do at this stage is to look at the history of commits. To look at the history of commits, run the git log command. You will be provided with the history of commits. Each commit includes username and email, a timestamp, and the associated message, descriptive message provided for the commit. From this output, 2 commits have been completed. I'll clear the screen and go over the git diff command. If you make changes to a file you have staged but yet to commit, then you can use the git diff command to view the difference between the current state of the file and the content of the file when you staged it. You can also use the git diff command to view the difference between the content of a file in the staging area and the last commit. Let's say I make some changes to file A. Okay, let's add simple. Okay, I'll save that and I'll close the file. Next, I'll add that file to the staging area. So I'll run git add file a.txt. Okay, so I'm yet to run the next commit, even though this file have been marked for the next commit. Before I run that commit, I'll make another change to this same file. So I'll add e here, okay, to complete the spelling for simple. I'll save the file again and close that. So at this stage, I can run git diff to see the difference between the current file in the working directory and the one in the staging area. So it's actually diff. Okay, so I'll run that. Okay, so this is the information provided. Let's add this file in its current state now to the staging area. So I'll run git add again and let's run git diff. So there is no difference between what's in the staging area and what's in the working directory. Next, you will learn how to use the git reset head command to unstage changes you have staged. I'll run the git status command to find out the status of the files in working directory. Okay, so file a.txt have been modified and the changes have also been staged, but a commit is yet to be carried out. So I can unstage the changes I have staged for file a.txt. the way to do that is to run the git reset head command. So I'll do git reset head, and I'll provide the name of the file. If I run this command, then the changes that have been staged for file a.txt will be unstaged. This will not affect the content of the file a.txt in working directory. Okay, so file A have been unstaged. If I open file a.txt, you still get simple there. I'll close that. But if I run git status now, then file A is modified but yet to be staged. It is also possible to revert the changes made to file A. I can revert the changes to file A to the state of the most recent commit. I'll use the git checkout command to do that. This will replace the current contents of file A with the contents of the version of the most recent commit. Okay, so I'll run the git checkout command. So file A have been reverted to the state of the most recent commit. If I open this file, it should not contain simple. Remember that to stop tracking file a.txt with git, you have to run the git rm command with the cached option. If I execute this command, then file a.txt will no longer be tracked with git. Next, you will learn how to work with a remote repository.